Let's talk about chapter 2, developing a social action class. What are the things to consider? And there are many: academic course versus co-curricular, prerequisites, creating the syllabus, the style, the norms. How do you get students in, to recruit them, the building of the allies, the role of place every semester or each year. These are all things to consider before teaching. And there's some nuts and bolts in there that I want you to look at. But to get around that framing question of what makes this different, if you look at how to create a syllabus on section 2C, I start with, in my syllabus, something that many service learning classes have, which is this quote by Zheng Quan, which is, "Tell me and I forget, show me and I remember, involve me and I understand." That's a basic service learning kind of philosophical question about how people learn. But then I follow it with, "Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will." And that's from Frederick Douglass, of course. And that's to let students know that not only are they going to be doing something, you're going to be engaged in the community, but it's going to be about making demands, and it's going to be about power. That's what differentiates this experience from a normal service learning courses, and if we're just going to be teaching about change or movement or community organizing. I then talk about the student victories and why I think that's important. And I mentioned them in the reading and in both books. Why I think that's key is that my students have won 15 victories in the past 14 years, and that they know that they can be successful, that it's not just Martin King or Cesar Chavez, not just them, but they can be successful. Students can actually have victories. An important point in that syllabus section is, where do the campaigns occur? And when I talk publicly, I get criticism for sending students that are ill-prepared into the community to quote unquote save the poor. And that's horrific. I argue back that 60 to 70% of the campaigns that students do are on the college campus themselves. So they are the experts, because a lot of times they are the ones that are the person that being impacted by the policy itself. So whether it be pushing out a racist faculty member, a staff member, or who's made a series of racist comments, or sexually harassed students, or working on student debt, or the variety of campaigns that are on a college campus, that most of them, I'd say 60 to 70, are on a campus, where 30 to 40 are in the community. And when they're in the community, I actually work with organizations, and many times they actually send organizers into my classroom when the students are discussing them. So they're not just on their own, they're working with grassroots leadership in support of a larger community campaign. It's not about going into marginalized communities and organizing them to join a campaign that the students have come up with. That's not what this model is about.